What's up, everybody? Welcome back.
What's going on?
My name's David. This is Carlo. This is Dollars and Cents. And thank you all again for checking us out. We really do appreciate your time, and it'll be well worth your time hanging out with us. So please continue to do so. Last episode, we touched on 25 in 2025. And what that meant was growing your net worth, growing your network, growing yourself 25%. Again, very lofty goal, achievable as long as you have a plan in place. And so we thought that we would kind of touch a little bit more on what does that plan look like, or maybe what does a plan that has already been done over and over and over again that can be easily replicatable. The map is already there. You just got to follow it. And the map is easy. Just do as rich people do, right?
Yes.
Right. I mean,
follow the money.
Follow the money in so many different ways that comes into play. But follow the money. Do as rich people do, and what strategies that they have done for themselves to get them in the position that they're in right now. Right. So, what does that mean for you, Carlo?
Well, what that means is really understanding strategy,
right?
Because you have to understand strategy, right? But more importantly is psychology, because you're not going to grasp financial strategy until you kind of work on your own financial psychology, right? So where's your money mindset? And you might got to work on your identity a little bit to level up to even grasp some of this stuff that we're going to talk about. I know it, and I'm telling you that because that happened to me. When I first learned this stuff at 25, I was like, what is this?
Right.
Like, this is like way out there, man, right? And it's so foreign. But because of the information age that we now live in, I mean, this is not isolated information. You can look all over YouTube, all over the internet and find this stuff. And, I talk about we're in the Latino community. And to me, I say Latinos right now are like new money, right? Mm-hmm. In terms of business, I'm the product of immigrant parents. And a lot of these concepts I've learned over the last 20 years have been life-changing, right? They didn't teach me this stuff in school. And most people are barely coming to this information now in their 40s and 50s, say, where has this information been? How come I'm just learning this right now?
Right.
That's what this means to me.
So is there a cutoff period, a cutoff age that you can get this started?
No.
Right. And I asked that because we live in a world of instant gratification, right? Yeah. We want everything now. I know I do.
Yeah.
I want my money now. I want everything now. But the mentality, the strategy, and having the mental to be able to build off of that, it's going to take time. And you have to be ready to invest in not just your money, but in the time that is going to take to grow your money, right? And so regardless of age, it's never too late to start doing something now. And nothing is ever too small to start with, right? As a matter of fact, it's probably best for you to start small and grow your way up versus the other way around.
Yeah.
Right.
Start with where you're at. I would say start where you're at.
For those of us who maybe are just learning these strategies, who are a bit longer in the tooth, I can't stress how important it is for you guys just to switch your mentality and think that it is still very doable for you to do. I wrote this down the other day, and I just wanted to kind of put something into perspective. So the average age right now is 44 years old. Let me start off from the beginning. The average 44-year-old has 35 years left. They're 56% done with life.
Wow.
12,784 days left. 1,826 weekends left. That's 433 full moons. Life is short, right? And we know that very well. But what does that mean for us, for our family? How are we going to set them up? Just because we're more on this side of the hill doesn't mean that we can't grow. Most millionaires, if not billionaires, started later in life because it took them time to build their business and fail a couple times until they were able to find that magic formula.
Yes.
Right. And so although you're just learning this information on how you can work these strategies into play. It doesn't mean that you can't do it.
Yeah.
You just have to have that mental toughness to know that it's going to take some time. But the beauty about compound interest and the rule of 72 is that it happens, a lot quicker than we might think so.
Absolutely. Yeah. And that's where you want to start, right? I say start wherever you're at. Most people that don't understand investing are what I call savers typically, right? They try to save. It's increasingly difficult.
It's a rare, yep.
Okay, but if you're going to move from saving to investing, you have to understand the rule of 72 or compound interest, right? Albert Einstein, I think it was quoted as the eighth wonder of the world. And all compound interest is this, right? You take the number, you take the interest rate that you're earning on your money. Okay, so let's say you're earning 9%. And you divide that by the number 72, which is why you call it the rule of 72. So 72 divided by 9 equals 8. So if you invest $10,000 and you say, well, what can I expect this money to grow to double itself and now be a 2x of $20,000? Well, what's it averaging? What's the interest rate on this investment that you're putting in? 9%. 72 divided by 9 equals 8. So based on that strategy, 8 years later, I could expect my 10,000 to double to 20,000. Now, is that a worthwhile investment? I don't know. I don't know your age. I don't know your goals, right? You have to determine, is 8 years, right? Is that a good enough time or is that too short? That's how you have to determine the goals. But the rule of 72 is exactly that.
And just to elaborate on that a bit more is that when we talk about what we're talking about tax-free income strategies. So let's say it takes you 8 years to double that, your nest egg, that amount. Do you want to pay taxes on that or not? Yeah. Right? Will taxes be higher in 8 years or not? And so again, there's different ways to manipulate this to make sense for your particular situation, but it has to start somewhere.
Yes.
And you have to take action.
Yeah.
And you have to ask these questions and you got to educate yourself on how this works for you in your particular situation. Because if you continue to do the same thing that you're doing and expecting the same results, I think that's called insanity.
That is.
Right. So
expecting different results, right? Doing the same thing over, it's like expecting different results. Not going to happen.
Right. So, really, this is where the show comes from. This is why we decided to do this. 15 minutes of your day, just getting some information. We may talk about the same things over and over from time to time again, but that's only because we think it's important to kind of revisit these strategies and really talk about how we go or how you can go about doing this for yourself.
Yeah. Yeah. We're really targeting a few different mindsets here, right? So the one that is near and dear to my heart is the one that is trying to break the chains. Like you're watching this and you're like, man, I come from, nobody in my family has ever made it. We've, financial struggle has just been generation after generation. And maybe you're the one that says it stops here. I'm going to break the chains, right? For the next generation, I'm going to take it to another level. That's first and foremost, I love that kind of person because that's where I come from, right? And I know where you're at and you just need some guidance and some coaching. The other person is someone that's already, I'm breaking the chains. Man, I'm leveling up right now. I just need a few, right? Some strategies here that are going to help me take it to another level, right? And that third person is like, man, you are at a level of income that no one in your family has ever been on. And what's important to you is legacy planning, generational wealth. Like, how do I now maintain what I've built in order to pass it on to the next generation, right? And I'm not going to be around more than likely. So how do I make sure that my wealth is not, squandered in one generation? We'll talk about that here soon too.
Right. And you don't have to write the code yourself. You don't have to learn this from scratch. It's already been done for you time and time again, which is hence do as the rich do, right? They've already written the plan in place. You just have to implement it for your particular situation and see what that looks like.
Yep.
There's so many ways that you can go about doing this, but we just want to make sure that you reach out to us because without you taking that first step, really, it's non-existent. It won't happen, and we can't do it for you. But we have an open door invite to sit down and meet with us and talk about what it is that you're wanting to achieve, and we can kind of take it from there.
Yeah, and I'll say, well, what does that look like? I get a lot of that. Okay, so if I meet with you, what does that entail, right? So the first thing that we want to do is we want to determine what are you trying to achieve? Mm-hmm. What's your goal? Hey, I want to buy a house. I want to get out of debt. I want to save money for retirement. Okay, we have to determine where you want to go. Let's put that on paper, and then next we got to determine where are you now. Mm-hmm. And so we're going to take inventory. When's the last time you did a budget? What's coming into the cent? What's coming out? Where is this going? Right? And from there, that tells the whole truth, right? Mm-hmm. Because that says where your money goes. Mm-hmm. And where do you think most people spend their money?
I don't know.
The number one, right? Well, number one place where people overspend money is food.
Ooh.
Yeah. I would say where people are like, it's hard for me to save. But you spent like $1,000 last month on just eating out.
Right.
Right?
Uber Eats.
Yep. Uber Eats, right?
Different subscriptions too, right? Your Netflixes and, all that stuff. Yeah.
So you're gonna have to make some changes, and it's going to be uncomfortable.
Sure.
I don't know of anyone that's trying to level up in a comfortable way. It's just impossible. So if you're like, I'm going to better my financial situation, but I'm going to stay comfy, not going to happen.
Right.
It's going to get uncomfortable. Right. But that's the only way to grow.
Yeah.
Right. Anything worthwhile to level up is going to require a good level of discomfort to get to the next level.
Rule of thumb, do as the rich do. We can talk about that. We will elaborate. We will be talking about the Rockefeller method.
Yes.
That's not Jay-Z's label. That's a real person. One of the 8 families who runs this world, but that's for a later show too.
Yeah.
But that is a strategy in and of itself, and something that we will touch on. But you guys, I really want to put this out there is that, take the time, listen to these shows, go back to some of the older shows that we've put out there, because they're great. It's great information. Get to hang out with us. And you really get to learn something that you can work on and implement into your daily life.
And we always want to make sure that we're accessible to you guys. I know you're listening to this, but if you're really serious and you want to sit down, guys, this is why we are promoting this content. Send us a direct message, Facebook, Instagram, wherever you're seeing this, YouTube. We'd love to have a conversation with you, and we can start there. We're in the Southern California area, but if you're somewhere, across the United States, we can meet you on Zoom.
All good.
Right? So there's no way that we can't collaborate if you're looking for help.
No doubt. Thank you guys again for hanging out. Please like and share these videos. We really do appreciate it. I'm going to be a stickler on reminding everybody about our quarterly events in downtown Chula Vista.
Yes.
We have Got Trust Issues, with this, which talks about the importance of having a living trust for you homeowners out there. And even if you're not a homeowner, you can come and learn on what it's about. Second event will be Tap into Home Ownership. For you first-time homebuyers who want to learn about buying a house, we will have a loan officer in place and talk about some of the different loan products that are out there. There's down payment assistance, closing cost assistance that you can use. That's in most cases free money that you can use to help you buy a house. You just got to learn what's out there. And the third one, which I'm excited about, is going to be Cash Cla.
Yes.
And that is going to be very much geared towards these videos and these topics that we talk about, which in general are tax-free income strategies. And we run the full gamut on that. We know that you will find all of these events valuable and informational and educational. So please come and check us out. You will see all that information out on the socials. We're up for time, but as always, thank you very much for hanging out with us. And we'll see you in the next show.
See ya.
Peace.